Ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about the blatant, flat out disrespect. I mean, no regard at all for what the family requested. I'm talking about from the Democrat Party. They become so Trump deranged that even at a funeral, they can't manage their symptoms. Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Kamala, as well as others, they could not help themselves, it seemed like, because they turned the Reverend Jesse Jackson's funeral into an anti-Trump rally, and now they're getting called out for it. As always, if you enjoy the content, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. That's the best way to let me know. And to stay locked in with future content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on all for your notifications. That way you never miss when I drop. Let's get right into it.
Funerals were not for the dearly departed. He believed funerals were for the living. He believed that they were great gathering meetings, and no two life or lives in human history will have the same number of people attending their funerals, or the same people will be at their funerals, because your friends ain't my friends ain't your friends. We don't know the same people. You don't know the same people that I know. Do not bring your politics out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived to these homegoing services. Come respectful and come to say thank you. But these homegoing services are welcome to all. Democrat, Republican, liberal, and conservative, right wing, left wing, because his life is broad enough to cover the full spectrum of what it means to be an American.
And so those sound like pretty clear instructions to me. But despite that request, Democrats couldn't help themselves. They completely disregarded what the family asked and chose to take shots at Trump during the funeral. And I mean, at this point, nothing they do is surprising anymore. And listen, it didn't go unnoticed either. They got called out for it, and it just goes to show how these people are. And probably none were worse than Barack Obama. Take a listen.
We are living in a time when it can be hard to hope. Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions. Another setback to the idea of the rule of law. An offense to common decency. Every day you wake up to things you just didn't think were possible. Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others, and that some don't even count at all. Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated, and bullying and mockery masquerading as strength. We see science and expertise denigrated, while ignorance and dishonesty and cruelty and corruption are reaping untold rewards. Every single day we see that, and it's hard to hope.
Yeah, so then you had Barack the grifter Hussein Obama using his same old shtick, right? The old, it's bad, but I'll show you the way. Just listen to me. I'm your Messiah. I'll lead you out of the darkness. I'll make everything right. I'll fix everything. I'll solve all your problems. It's the same old shtick. It's the same old playbook. We know it by now, Barack. We get it. But it works. Listen, Barack, I never lie when it comes to Barack. He's a prolific speaker. He has that down. He knows how to speak. He knows how to motivate. He knows how to get the emotion out of somebody. He get credit where credit is due. But it's the same old playbook, and at this point it's old and it's played out, and we've seen it. I've seen it, I know that much, far too many times to actually know what it really is, which was an opportunity. When they know it's going to be broadcast across the country, right? This was broadcast across the country. Of course, and it's a midterm year. We can't forget about that. They got to remind people, right? And who better than to stand on the backs of them black people, because they know black people, they'll eat this stuff up. They'll cheer on the whole 9 yards. And so please believe none of this was accidental. It was calculated, all of it. But let's continue.
I don't care what they they do in Washington. I care what we do in the community. We beat people bigger than Trump. We fought people harder than them if we stand up and be what we're supposed to be.
This is bad times like now. We're in a tough spot, folks. We got an administration that doesn't share any of the values that we have. And I don't think I'm exaggerating a little bit.
Let me just say, I predicted a lot about what's happening right now. I'm not into saying I told you so, but we did see it coming.
Wow. I mean, it really is shameful, the disregard they have for the family's request that was made abundantly clear that they wanted to honor the Reverend Jesse Jackson, a celebration of his life, bring people together. That was what they requested. But that's not what happened. Instead, Democrats showed up and treated it like it was any other political stage. You got Kamala, of all people. She started with, I predicted a lot was happening right now, and I told you so. Like, really? Biden rambling on as if he didn't spend the past 4 years destroying the country and the economy. And of course, you got Obama, like I said, doing that same old shtick, the same old we shall overcome routine. Let me tell you how oppressed you are. Let me tell you about how much you being held back and how you need us Democrats to come save you. We are your only hope. Like, Obama, this is not 2008. I mean, really, who turns a funeral into an anti-Trump rally? Really? And so the Jackson family spoke out and said their piece. Take a listen.
Yesterday, I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice.
Yeah. And so you have people calling out Democrats because they see the blatant disrespect. They see the stunt the Democrats pull, and they don't like it. Check it out.
Jesse Jackson's funeral is the perfect example of how selfish and opportunistic the Democratic establishment is. His son specifically said he did not want any politics being brought to the homegoing service. That both Democrats and Republicans are welcome. That, quote, Jesse's life is broad enough that all are welcome. I'm sure that has a lot to do with the fact that Donald Trump played a huge part in assisting Jesse in his run for president of the United States when he would have been the first Black American president. And it's interesting that they took the time not to honor Jesse Jackson, but to score political points. Barack Obama, his entire speech was to fearmonger, to do what he always does with his smooth talking, is to make it appear as though, he was saying things like, oh, every day we wake up and we don't recognize this country. It's just so much. Like, everything was so gloom and doom, as if you're waking up every day to like these horrible conditions in America, when in fact the worst time of my life and many others was under the Biden-Harris administration. And the beginning root of that was Barack Obama's presidency.
They do it because it works. I mean, let's be real. It works. Any opportunity they have where they can legitimately bring Obama out, they're going to use it because they know he resonates. A lot of black voters will respond to it. White liberals will respond to it. Obama's basically their golden goose. Is what they were hoping they would have in Kamala, but she turned out to be a dud who couldn't do much beyond producing word salads that didn't make much sense.
Reverend Jesse Jackson's son specifically asked everybody that attended the funeral to not bring politics to this celebration of life for him. What did Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, and everybody else who got up there, what did they do? They made it political. They started talking about the left and the right, and Al Sharpton talking about we can defeat Trump. We've been doing this for... Did you not hear what the son of Reverend Jesse Jackson said?
The reality is they heard what he said. And if they didn't, that still wouldn't matter because they were not going to miss an opportunity like that when it was being broadcast on all the major networks, ladies and gentlemen. CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox News, MS Now. They weren't about to pass up on a chance to have an audience that large tuning in and use the moment to say, see, look at everything Trump is doing to ruin your life. Let us come fix it. Only problem is, newsflash, that they created a lot of what was going wrong in the first place. And now they want to act like they're swooping in to come and solve the issue.
He said, leave that stuff at home. And the first thing you guys did, you see, this is the thing. You guys are so desperate, right? You don't have your own campaigns. None of you guys have anything going on. So you use every opportunity that cameras are going to be there to spew out your hate for fucking Trump, all right? Instead of doing the groundwork and getting back in office, getting back in position to take over, you guys disrespect Jesse Jackson when his son specifically said, please leave politics at home today. This is the celebration of life. But it goes to show you how disrespectful these people are because they don't give a fuck about nothing other than defeating Trump. That's Trump derangement syndrome at its finest.
And so basically what Democrats did was hold an anti-Trump rally at a funeral. Or you could call it a early DNC convention. I mean, they were already back in Chicago, the same place the DNC was just held. You could call it a midterm campaign event. Instead of honoring Jesse Jackson and celebrating his life, which is what the moment should have been about, they ignored what the family asked and turned it into politics. That's how deep their anti-Trump obsession runs. Because Democrats' biggest fear right now is Trump actually doing the things he said he would do. If he pulls it off, it exposes how ineffective they've been and raises the question of why they couldn't or wouldn't do these things when they were in power. That's why they're pushing so hard. They need the midterms to go their way because that's their best chance of slowing him down. And so in their eyes, it didn't matter that this was a funeral. To them, it was an opportunity and they took it. But that's the update and my thoughts. Now let me hear from you. As always, smash that thumbs up button. You enjoy the content, subscribe to stay locked in with future videos. Until next time.